Alright.
Hey!
Take two.
What's up? This is Game Pulse, Keith, Tyler, and special guest. So we're gonna do a spoiler video on Batman Arkham City because
with that, Arkham Origins coming out.
yeah, with that and you know Arkham City is just a great game.
And
so
took Tyler this long to beat it.
Well, technically you didn't have it for that.
I didn't play it.
That's true.
Technically you didn't have it for that. Yeah, technically you beat it faster than I did.
Yes.
So, well, I guess we'll just go through the story then.
Yeah, let's just talk about it.
But the first thing, well, if you got the Catwoman pack, the first thing is, you know, he plays Catwoman.
Which is interesting. You know, Batman game.
Very first
not
thing.
playing as Batman.
One word of advice.
You're trying to steal from Two-Face at that point. You know, you kick the shit out of his guards, and then, you know, he takes her hostage. And then, basically the whole premise, or a lot of the background information of the story comes up about Arkham City and, you know, what happened after Arkham Asylum and how, and, you know, Bruce is trying to stop all that. He gets put in Arkham City.
Yeah.
And then, oh shit, Hugo Strange reveals, I know you're Batman. And, yeah.
And then, you know...
You get in that little fight with Penguin in the very beginning.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then later, you know, you go to find Joker, and Joker poisons you because Joker is dying himself. The Titan is, you know, mutating him and making him die, so he poisons Batman. That pretty much sets up the main plot of the game.
Yeah,
for the most part.
What better way to ensure that you get the cure than to make sure someone else has to go get it, or else they die as well.
Yeah, so...
And so Batman's dying, and that just was sad. Like, later in the game, when Batman's face is revealed, I was like, shit!
But
then what? He had
anyway.
Freeze going to... He had Freeze making the cure, so Batman goes to find him. Only to find out that Penguin... Was it ever revealed why Penguin
took Freeze's equipment?
Just because Penguin's, you know, crazy and you
just
know,
because Penguin, he's a douche.
Alright, so he has to go to the museum and he has to go.
Well, no, you gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go to the museum.
No, first thing you do, you gotta get the fat suit. Go get Catwoman.
Well, yeah, then that was beforehand.
Yeah.
And then you go to the museum, you gotta knock out Radio Jammer so you can get in, and then you gotta go help Freeze. Which had one of the cooler parts where you pull him out of the display case or whatever reason, and you rip the...
That was just badass.
The freeze thing that, you know, holds his life, you just rip it out, you know, to get him to help you. And then, proceed to, you know, handily stomp Penguin's ass before...
Yeah.
And you throw him in that case...
Yeah,
and then,
one of his
but then there's the whole fight with the Solomon Grundy, which is
the
first big fight of the game.
But suddenly, Solomon Grundy is essentially what happens in that fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to fight him, and then you think he's dead, and he comes back again. And you gotta kick, you know, you gotta electrocute him and shit. That was the first moment that I was like, shit, this game is us.
Yeah. The moment when. The moment that hit me when I realized that this game was just badass was when Batman ripped the thing out of Freeze and was just... That whole scene is one of the greatest scenes ever in that whole game. Like, it was incredible. Just
Yeah, and then the cure, in order to fix the cure, because Freeze didn't know how to finish it, he didn't finish it, you have to go get blood from Ra's al Ghul, leader of the League of Shadows, which... Has been known, if you read any of the comics, he doesn't have the best relationship with Batman.
He wants an heir to his control of the League of Shadows, and thinks it is Bruce Wayne or a child of Bruce Wayne. Yeah, essentially.
He wants him to kill, which is, you know, the one thing Batman would never do.
Yeah.
So go down there, and after another cool fight sequence with Ra's, you forcefully take his blood out, which I thought was Also, another thing, and also another weird thing was when he threatens to kill his own daughter. Just like Batman. I was like, all right.
That was weird.
After that, you take the blood to freeze, and then you have that fight, which
Isn't
is
there something with the Lazarus pit there too? Isn't there?
only a
No,
little.
that's later
That's
on.
later. But yeah, the fight with freeze. Fuck that fight.
Yeah, that fight just pissed me off. Just
I don't know.
because.
For me, it was like, okay, now I have to get creative. I have to use some imagination here.
Yeah.
At least, like, the second time when I played through the game, of course, and I did play on a higher difficulty, it was a bit easier, but the first time I was like... Because, you know, first time I literally just button mashed. I didn't use any kind of gadgets or anything like that, and I barely
You
did.
tried to beat the hell out of him, which is what...
Which is, which
Not the
ain't
whole
gonna
point
work.
of the fight.
Which ain't gonna work, so... That frustrated me.
Well, that's why I enjoyed the fight so much. It's like, now, you know, I can't just sit there. It wasn't a boss fight where I could just sit there and button mash and beat the shit out of the boss. It was... Alright, I gotta use my head, I gotta think.
At first, I had him down to where all I needed to do was hit him, you know, damage him one more time, and I would have won. And you know, you can set the explosive gel on the wall and then blow it up when he's near it. And for some reason, I set the explosive gel. I ran under the wall. I made sure he came around it, and I was hitting the button. And the gel didn't explode. And then he just fucking killed me. And I was pissed off. And then I ended up taking him out. I believe it was in like, it had to have been in less than 3 minutes. It was pretty wicked.
Yeah.
The second time.
Yeah.
So.
Then after that, crap, story-wise. Oh yeah, Joker steals the cure after that, right?
Harley Quinn
No, Harley Quinn
steals the
the
cure.
cure.
Well, yeah, but Joker, you know, was like, hey, go steal it. I don't
Well,
play fair.
basically while Batman and Freeze are fighting, Harley Quinn is just like, oh, hey.
So then you have to go get the cure. And that leads to you finding the Joker and
One of the most
the
ridiculous
most
fights
frustrating part of the game.
Oh yeah,
the fight in the funhouse
is
with the car
terrible.
flying through all the
All right,
time.
how many times did it take you?
It easily at least 25, 30 times.
How about you?
At least a dozen.
Yeah, I would say about a dozen for me as well. And you know, I was about to get through that fight and my game froze, and I was very pissed off.
My thing was that I stopped playing. Like I probably went through like a dozen times, and I was like,
Yeah.
and then there was probably a couple times where I tried to pick the game back up again right there. I'm like, it's not gonna work. I don't remember how to do shit. So I started the game over.
To be honest with you, if the story wasn't as good as it was, that whole moment would have killed that whole game for me. That moment is just way more frustrating than it should be, if you ask me.
And
You
then
know, they should have looked at that, you know, when they went through and tested it and be like, wow, this is, you know,
I think
maybe a little bit difficult. I mean, I'm all for having something that's, you know, challenging
I'm all
and
for the
stuff,
challenge,
but that
yeah.
was just way too difficult.
And
There's
then-
just too many enemies and the big Titan guy, and it's just
Yeah.
like, Jesus fucking Christ.
tiny room, not a lot of room to move.
Yeah,
and that
so-
cart flying through. That's what killed me the most.
Yeah,
it wasn't
that
the god,
took
it
me
wasn't
out
the people
too.
in the room. It was the cart flying through.
Yeah,
That stupid roller coaster.
so then, you know, you end up defeating Joker, and
And then
he blows up the
Coup de grace.
fucking
Well, no,
shit.
that's Protocol 10. Protocol 10 stars, and they launch
Yeah,
the missile
but
at
he
him.
then you
yeah,
end up-
blows the shit up in
Yeah.
Batman's trap.
in
Yeah.
the coup de grace in the theater.
Or not yet.
Not yet? No?
Not yet. Not
Oh, no,
yet.
that's
You're skipping ahead. So now, you know, we found out what Protocol 10 is, which was Hugo Strange's grand plan. He wants to become the hero because he put all of these inmates in one spot, and now he's going to kill them by just
Genocide.
bombing the entire place. So Batman goes
Yeah.
up the tower, Wonder Tower to stop him. And, you know, some difficult fights up through the way. Batman succumbing to his, you know, the illness and, you know, it's...
The whole helicopter thing, that was very frustrating.
Yeah, you have to, like, find the right helicopter. It's like,
Yeah, but I have to admit, you know, when you go outside and you see all these helicopters just blowing shit up, it's pretty shocking, to be honest with you.
yeah.
It was
But
pretty
ziplining
crazy.
from helicopter to helicopter is fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then you make it to the top, and you find out, you know, Hugo Strange isn't the one behind it all. He wasn't
No.
smart enough to figure it all out. And it turns out Ra's al Ghul is the one who started the whole Arkham City thing. Which, honestly, is the only part of the game that I might not like too terribly much. Because I'm like, okay, that was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I know it fits his character in the comic books, but I'm like, story-wise, where the fuck did he
Yeah,
come
I
from?
feel like the whole Ra's al Ghul Lazarus Pit thing right there was just thrown in at the last minute. Like, yeah, I'm aware the Lazarus Pit is right under the base of Wonder Tower. But
Even when you find out that he's behind it, I felt like it wasn't really explained that much of why or how.
I mean, he wants to rid the world of evil, so you figure put all the evil in one spot of Gotham.
It was
and
just,
blow it up.
I don't know, I
No,
felt like it was
Gotham.
kind of random. But then, he kills, Ra's al Ghul kills Strange, and then Strange activates Protocol 11.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and then Ra's al Ghul
scare you.
kills,
He uses a simple
in
collection
quotation
of
marks, since you can't see my quotation marks, himself.
Tiny.
Yeah, because the tower blows up, and then, of course, Batman being the good Samaritan that he is, he tries to save him, and Ra's won't have nothing of it, so he takes his sword, tries to stab him and Batman, but Batman just kind of pushes him away, and he stabs himself, and gets impaled on a fence post or something like that.
Yeah. And then after that, I feel one of the best scenes of the game is Joker coming up on the screen with Talia saying, "Come find you, Batman." And I just thought that whole scene was awesome.
And then you have to navigate the snipers to get there.
Sniper Alley. That was a fun
It
time.
wasn't that difficult.
It was maybe I'm just stupid.
I just flew, dropped down right behind him.
Yeah, that's what
I kept on getting.
down.
You see, I tried stuff like that, and I kept on getting shot. like all of a sudden they became Call of Duty, pro sniper,
See, you gotta
game
learn how to,
battles
like,
guys.
You gotta learn how to dive bomb and get up.
Yeah, but that's what happened. I would dive bomb, and then they'd turn into a Call of Duty pro sniper, and I'd be dead.
The only time I ever dive bombed was during that whole Ra's al Ghul thing. I just went to a rooftop behind him, flew behind him, walked up, killed him.
Yeah.
Grappled up, went to the one behind him. I tried to keep a distance when I flew behind him, so that I could safely walk up to him. So.
And then for when you make it into the field, into the theater, you counter, Talia, Joker, and
This was just awesome.
Talia reveals that she stole the cure from Harley Quinn, so that's why Joker's still worried about the cure. And also that she took him there because there's a Lazarus Pit underneath the theater, which becomes a little bit important a little later on, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then it's also revealed that the Joker that, looks good isn't Joker.
Yeah.
And it's
Clayface.
Clayface. And then you have to fight Clayface, which, I don't know about you guys, I thought it was really easy.
That was an easy fight. I think I probably died once each time, but then it was just like, oh.
Yeah, I mean,
it was from dumb mistakes. Like,
Yeah,
oh.
like timing. If your timing was off,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
But then that was an easy fight. And he falls in the Lazarus Pit, which ruins that. So Joker, Batman takes the cure because he has it, and there's an explosion, which knocks Batman out. Which we'll get to things about that here after a bit. But then Joker, goes and he stabs Batman before he can get the cure,
And before that, Joker kills Talia
oh yeah, but that
as
happened.
well.
Yeah, he killed Talia, which pisses Bruce off. But then he stabs Batman. Batman drops the cure. Joker can't get any of the cure, and Batman's arch nemesis dies right then and there. I'm like,
And
Shit.
I shed a tear. Being a Batman fan I am, I shed
that
tears.
was.
I didn't think he was going to die. And to be honest with you, I didn't realize he was actually dead until, when the camera started panning up and then Batman starts walking out of the theater.
Yeah, that is
holding
like,
Joker. That's when he realized that he's actually dead. Because I thought he was just, being Joker. He was just going to fuck around with Batman, not be dead.
That moment of the game where it just comes out, puts him on the hood, walks
Yeah,
away,
and Gordon,
just completely
Gordon's like,
reveals-
Batman, what happened in there? And then he just drops him on the hood and walks away. It's just that is a really powerful ending right there. It makes you think. It's one of those, what's the word?
before that, it's
Ambiguous endings that make you think about things. It doesn't have a clear-cut end.
Well, before the Joker actually dies, he's like, the funny thing is, I would have saved you.
Yeah.
Which is,
Which continues the cycle of the Joker
Well,
escaping,
what happened?
causing shit to happen.
what happened?
What happened?
but, and I guess since that's the end. We're not going to talk about the DLC that much because I mean it's just added stuff. It's not really part of the main story. But one of the interesting things that's come up is whether or not Joker's really dead, because there's a number of things that kind of happened. There was the whole thing with Clayface.
Clayface fell down into the Lazarus pit.
But then we don't know because he was during that fight he was separating himself into little body parts. So you don't know. Maybe he had a little separation part of himself off somewhere, chilling. So then when during the explosion when Batman gets knocked unconscious, you see two things that happen. When he wakes up, you might not have noticed this the first time, but when he wakes up, the cure is in the opposite hand of when he went down. So then it's like, oh. And then, there could have been a fake Joker, fakes death, Joker's alive. That's the whole theory behind that.
Yeah.
The DLC, I believe I've heard, disproves that he's still alive.
Oh, no. The whole concept of Harley Quinn's revenge is, Harley Quinn has this infatuation with the Joker, and basically he dominates her life, and now he's not there. She goes back down here.
Yeah, basically. So
I don't think Joker's dead. It's the Joker.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, you really can't have one without the other.
Really, if they make a full-on sequel, because I know Origins is a prequel, but if they make a sequel, they're gonna have to bring Joker back.
Well, and it's very strongly hinted at that they're gonna make a sequel in some of the side quests, in one of the side quests at least, which I'm sure we're gonna talk about here shortly. Or not.
Well, depends. Much time.
You scared?
Alright, cool. But there's a lot of side quests, including a lot of the Catwoman stuff. Like,
Catwoman stuff was kind of fun.
You go,
Yeah.
you just try to steal money from Strange or whatever.
Did you guys do the fight with Two-Face
That was
at the end?
That's
that
good.
was a complete bitch. That was difficult.
Were you getting robbed?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you got to the part where you were, getting your money back.
Oh, from the Tiger Doll?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the
So
ultimate
did you save Batman, or
Hold
did
on,
you leave Arkham City?
First time,
I
I saved Batman. I went and saved Batman just because.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But I went back because I just want to get the achievement for doing all the Catwoman episodes. Went back and did that mission and left. And I was just like, oh. Okay.
Basically, it's like, Joker's won. Everything's gone to shit.
Yeah.
Oh well.
or Gotham City is falling apart.
Yeah.
Because without Batman.
I have to go back and play that because I want to see that.
I was just like,
that
was another big moment. I was just like,
And then
damn.
it just it goes into credits.
Yeah,
For
it's
a
like
minute.
credit start, and then it just
And then it
rewinds.
rewinds.
It's literally, it's like if you were to sit here, if you were watching a movie, hit the rewind button. It's exactly what happens.
I just feel overall that this story was strong.
No,
It's
a
to me,
great
it's one of
story.
the greatest stories of this generation. It's dark, and it's very, very, very mature.
Yes.
If you ask me.
It's very, and that's kind of, people think, oh, Batman, it's Batman, it's comics, it's cartoons.
Yeah.
And then you get
it's
this
just-
incredibly
It
dark,
kind of-
mature story.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the movies, like the Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight was probably the best.
Yeah, they're very mature movies, and the scale of them, and especially the Dark Knight Rises when everything's just going to shit at the end of that movie. That's kind of what it reminded me of. To me, it just has that same high quality and just really strong writing, just as good as the movies, if you ask me. Very,
Yes.
very good story,
It's definitely
and just an amazing ending.
probably one of the best Batman single story arcs I've ever.
Yeah.
It's definitely hands down the best Batman game I've played. I mean, there's not that many Batman games.
It's probably hands down the best superhero game that you can play.
Oh yeah, probably. There's a lot of side quests too.
They do have they have a pretty good rogues gallery.
There's the first one that I actually ever did was I did the Bane one.
I did the Bane
Where
one.
Bane's trying to collect all the Titan containers, and you gotta find is it 4 or 8?
told you.
Something like that.
4, I think.
Gotta get 4. And then he tries to double cross you because he wants to tighten to make himself stronger. And then you lock him in a cage. I'm like, alright, cool.
Then there's the calls.
He calls with Victor.
Victor Zsasz.
Don't you find him and then you...
No, what happens is, you hear this phone ring, you go and answer, then...
Oh, no, I meant in the end. Like, I know you gotta go find the phone, but then you find him, don't you?
Yeah.
Forget.
But the whole premise of this is, you talk to Zsasz on the phone, and he tells you a story, and, you trace it to where he's routing the calls through.
Yeah. There's Deadshot, which Deadshot's killing various political prisoners in Arkham, a couple of which include Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And, crap, who's the mayor? The mayor's
Quincy Sharp.
Quincy Sharp. Quincy Sharp's one of the people he's supposed to kill. And then you just gotta figure out where he shot from and find clues as to where he's gonna go, and all kinds of other shit.
I had to go online to find where all the bodies were for that, just because they were in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place.
Like, they're in just, like, the weirdest places, and then, so I was like, alright.
What else is there's the Hush stuff where did you do any of those?
I have
did all
not
those.
done any side missions. I just found Japan's story.
Yeah, Hush, is you're finding people who are having their face cut off. I think that's and so it turns out he's made a face that looks exactly like Bruce Wayne.
Which is what it does in the comics, yeah.
So then it's like shit. And then I think
There's
Azrael. Where you gotta find him like
which
3 or 4 times.
and that's the thing that strongly hints at there being a sequel to this game, and it expanding into Gotham City.
I think besides that, except for maybe the political prisoner stuff, there's not that many other side quests.
There's the Riddler trophies.
Shit.
There's the Riddler, the hostages.
The Riddler hostages.
The ending of that's funny. I
There's-
love how you end that. Because in the last thing you tie them up to a machine where if these people they're tied to like mobile landmines, and if they stop walking, they're just gonna blow up. So of course when you catch Riddler and you save everybody, you strap him to one of them. Hey, you don't kill him. It's his fault if he does. So Batman's not technically doing anything wrong, going against his code.
Yeah.
So.
But if you're worried about a shortage of things to do in this game, there's not a shortage.
And honestly,
side quests take
you
a while.
could just go. Honestly, I find even fun like the challenge because with the challenge maps, just go drop into a group of guys and just start fucking shit up.
Yeah, but there's 400 something Riddler
440,
trophies
I
for
think.
Batman alone, and there's like 40 something for Catwoman.
Yeah.
There's probably some extra ones.
Now, the gameplay in this game is amazing.
Combat's awesome.
Yeah. The combat system is really good. And I think the best thing about this game, maybe even better than the story, how good the story is just how this game makes you feel like Batman. It really, really does. You having to figure things out, using your brain
And your gadgets.
and all your gadgets, and you hiding in the shadows and taking people out, and you just saving people, and it really makes you feel like Batman. They hit that on the head, on how Batman should play.
This probably has my favorite combat system out of any of the games that I've played recently. It just flows.
It flows
so nicely.
That's why they call it the free flow system.
Yeah, and it's easy, but it's
simple.
really hard to master.
It's what 3 essentially. Four.
If you don't use gadgets, you have like 3 or 4 buttons.
You have 4 context buttons.
Mhm.
One's attack, one's counter, one's stun, one's jump.
Yeah,
Essentially.
it's pretty.
And then
pretty
you have your
simple.
quick fire gadgets if you're
Yeah.
trying to do that.
Yeah, it's just some of the parts, when you have to find freeze and you have to, go to the coldest place in Arkham City or something like that, or when you sit up on the.
How about the shark in the museum?
Yeah.
The shark in the museum is kind of cool.
Or-
the flooded district.
Yeah.
Is cool.
Or just sitting up on, the gargoyles and just watching and seeing how the enemies or guards,
the city
move.
itself is a character in the game.
Yeah, that is true.
And there's no soundtrack. It's just the sounds of the city, sounds of the museum, sounds of stuff, right?
I thought it was pretty cool how, you know, when you're flying around the city and stuff, you know, you can hear all the inmates talking and stuff, and then I like how their conversations evolved as the story went on. You know, it was kind of
talking about,
up to date.
Like,
you know?
when they finish the game, they talk about, you know, they can't believe the Joker's dead. You know, they're questioning whether or not he really is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
There's
just...
also all kinds of other things that you can find after the game. There's all the stuff involved. There's like so much stuff involving Scarecrow. There's all these secret. These secret frequencies that you can find on the cipher.
There's one on the
and
boat.
they give the numeric thing, and you says basically that he's gonna spread fear to Gotham, and then there's the boat.
Yeah, I found the boat. I found the Killer Croc. Is it Killer Croc?
Yeah, Croc.
Found the Croc Easter egg.
Did you know? I discovered this in my second playthrough because I heard from somebody. There are, even though you don't find them anywhere in the game, there are Scarecrow thugs that are like part of the dead bodies being executed because they're wearing like Scarecrow masks. I'm like, where the hell did you guys come from?
No, I didn't notice.
I was too busy looking for helicopters. I was looking in the sky, not on the ground.
I was just too busy looking because this game is gorgeous. It's flat out gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, yes. The visuals are awesome. I feel that the only thing that I think could have been better is if you watch, during cutscenes when people talk.
Yeah.
Little better.
Yeah, the lip syncing's not that good.
The facial syncing is not great.
Yeah, but
the city, the environment itself is
the city is gorgeous. The character model is amazing. I feel especially Joker. Joker's is amazing.
During full-out cutscenes, it's okay, but like the weird ones where you're talking to like
Azrael
or a police officer, yeah, like one of the minor ones.
Yeah.
But like the huge cinematic cutscenes, they look amazing.
But
the city itself feels alive. I'm actually kind of hoping that Arkham Origins, they're letting you explore Gotham. Because apparently Gotham is bigger than Arkham City.
Oh yeah, it has to be.
But
you can go to Old Gotham, which is basically Arkham City. Go there, and you'll see. I would actually really like it. I really like it if they made it. It's like, I know it'd be cheesy, easy to do, but like just make it like the same. Like basically you go into, and it's like, oh, I remember this part. I remember standing on this building before.
I wouldn't say necessarily entirely the same.
But I mean, like, I could be like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, I'm in the industrial district. This is where Joker had his shit. I'm like, yes, I know this place.
That game's just gonna be awesome. Just seeing how, Batman really becomes to be and how he meets some of his enemies and stuff.
And is it on Christmas Eve or is it New Year?
It's on Christmas Eve.
I'm kind of hoping that might work. Well, no, never mind. They wouldn't do that because Noel happens later in canon.
I would love for them if somehow we know the Joker's going to be in it. It's an origin story.
Yeah.
If they somehow worked in how he became the Joker, like maybe early in the game that happens, and then toward the end of the game he comes and he's the raving lunatic we all know and love.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is no one knows. There is no specific
I doubt you'll survive for long, Batman.
There's
A simple
theories.
mistake will be all.
Or
nothing has
you
been
meet
declared canon.
the Red Hood or something.
Red
The
Hood.
Red Hood, and then Batman kicks his
No,
ass.
can't do Red Hood too early in the arc. Because Red Hood is the second Robin.
No. That's what, at least in one of the stories, but that's what the Joker said. He dressed up as the Red Hood or something, or something like that for one of his things. So see Joker before he turns into X. Something happens, or he goes away, and then we see him come back later. And he's crazy. If you don't want to just put a set story to what happens to him, he comes back and he's batshit crazy.
Your way all night,
Anyway, this
Batman.
video has gone
You will still not defeat me.
But that's because it's a great game.
This is a very deep game. It's amazing.
If you haven't played it, buy it. Even if you're not a Batman fan, it's still an incredible game.
Exactly. I feel that even if you enjoy the Batman movies, you can enjoy the game. Like,
do.
if you're just one that's not really into it and you've just watched the movies and you're like, wow, that's amazing, you can love this game.
And to me, it was awesome because a lot of the stories cycle from the cartoons too. The cartoon that I watched growing up, a lot
Yeah,
of the
it
stories
stayed
came out
pretty
of there.
true to it. I like how, it's really quick, but I just like how many, characters there are in this game.
Yeah.
There's just one after another. It's
So
it's
many
really
like,
cool.
Like, did you go like find Crime Alley, where your parents were shot?
Yeah, you can find Warrior's parents, but you can go visit their.
You can go visit the site they were shot, and there's actually an achievement for staying there for a certain amount of time.
Wow.
But like, yeah, there's so many things you can do.
Yeah, this game is just rich of content. Last question: should they make a direct sequel to the story of this game?
Absolutely.
I'm torn. I would like them to make a sequel because, I mean, yes, a sequel, but then this game is so perfect, I don't want them to somehow
such
mess
high
up what.
expectations.
I don't want them. That's the thing. You have
Yeah.
high expectations. Then you just get. If you don't meet it, then this is gonna
Yeah.
be crap.
It-
And I don't want them to take anything and be like, oh, well, this happened, or
If-
you thought this happened in Arkham City. Now I'm gonna be like,
Alright,
don't
here's-
ruin the game.
Here's how I'm gonna look at this. If they do it, take their time. Do not rush it. Do it right. Make it what we are going to expect. Don't try to be like Call of Duty. Put a game out every fucking year.
If what's the studio that's doing
Is it Warner?
Origins?
It's WB. It's
Warner
WB
Montreal.
Montreal.
If they can pull off a really good story with Arkham Origins, I'm game for it. But you know what? At
I think
times,
what's happening is WB Montreal is doing this while Rocksteady is doing the sequel. I think that might be what's going on.
that could be it. But at times, though, like I'm torn. Like Keith, I really want to know. Is the Joker actually dead? What's happened? How's Arkham City now, or whatever. But at times, ambiguous endings should stay ambiguous.
Yeah.
You don't always have to clear everything up. Just let people write their own ending
Yeah.
or something, But if they did, like Luke said, they should take their time with it and really make it just as perfect as this game was. So
I want the sequel to blow my mind.
Yeah.
So expect some awesome stuff on Batman Arkham Origins when that comes out.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So if anybody watched this, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about Batman Arkham City, and if you haven't played it, go play it.
Like and subscribe to these motherfuckers.
Yeah, please.
Exactly.
It helps.
Bye.